There are moments in time when destiny itself seems to hold its breath. Moments when silence becomes so thick you can almost hear the universe thinking. November 2025 is one of those moments. And if you are here listening, it is not by chance. It means you are one of those souls born under the Scorpion's constellation, the guardian of transformation, the keeper of the hidden flame that no storm can extinguish. The ancients said that Scorpio's fire was not like ordinary fire. It does not burn to destroy, it burns to reveal. And this November, that sacred flame begins to tremble again beneath your ribs. Everything you thought you buried, the truths, the feelings, the forgotten vows, will start whispering from the shadows, asking to be seen. You see, in the language of the cosmos, truth never dies. It only waits for the right alignment to be remembered. And now the planets conspire in silence. Mars returning to the Scorpion's ancient dominion. Pluto stirring the underworld of your soul together, igniting a prophecy that was written long before you were born. But this prophecy, Scorpio, is not a forecast of fate. It is a mirror, a reflection of what your spirit already knows, that your path has never been about comfort or safety. It has always been about evolution through intensity, through the alchemy of fire and rebirth. Many people fear Scorpio because they mistake your depth for danger. They do not understand that what you destroy is illusion, and what you resurrect is truth. This is why even the immortals once feared the Scorpion's sting. Not for its poison, but for its power to awaken what was asleep. This month, the veil between worlds thins once again. Secrets will rise like smoke, and silence itself will start to speak. But the revelation you are about to face is not out there in the stars or the headlines, it is within you. It is the echo of an ancient promise that the soul of Scorpio would return in times of collective darkness, not to punish the world, but to remind it how to rise again. And so, before we enter the prophecy, take a breath. Feel the weight of this moment. Because what you are about to hear is not just a message, it is a mirror calling your name. It is the sound of destiny knocking softly at the gates of your heart, whispering, "You have walked through the fire before, but this time, Scorpio, the fire will not consume you, it will crown you." Comment if this resonates with you. Have you ever felt like your pain was secretly preparing you for something greater? Because if you have, then this prophecy, your prophecy begins now. Section: The Mirror of Fire. The Call of Transformation. Every prophecy begins with a mirror. Not the kind that reflects your face, but the kind that shows your soul unmasked, unguarded, and raw. And November 2025, Scorpio is exactly that mirror. This month, the sky itself becomes your reflection. Mars, your ancient ruler, stands face to face with Pluto, your modern master of transformation. One burns with desire, the other dissolves illusion. When they meet, they don't bring chaos, they bring revelation. For most signs, this planetary tension feels uncomfortable, like a storm passing overhead. But for you, Scorpio, it feels like recognition. You don't fear the storm. You are the storm that teaches the sky to surrender. And this time, the heavens are calling you home to your own element, fire, born from water destruction, turned to awakening. When I began my research on Scorpio over 20 years ago, one thing became clear. This sign doesn't seek transformation. Transformation seeks you. It finds you in heartbreak, in endings, in those nights when silence screams louder than words. It's as if the universe keeps whispering, "Rise again," every time the world tries to bury you. But the real mystery is not why Scorpio survives the fire. It's why you always return stronger, wiser, more magnetic. You are the keeper of sacred intensity, the one who turns pain into prophecy. And this November, that ancient cycle begins again. You may feel it already. A restlessness, an internal trembling like a serpent waking beneath your skin. The need to shed, to release, to confront the parts of you still clinging to an outdated version of power. The kind that hides behind control, behind silence, behind emotional armor. because the universe has decided it's time to return your strength to its rightful owner, your truth. In the first half of the month, when the Sun and Mars ignite your 8th house, you'll feel as though your soul is being rewritten. Old patterns will surface not to punish, but to be purified. You might notice memories you haven't thought about in years rising from nowhere. You might feel drawn to confront people or situations that once defined you, but this time with eyes that see differently. Do not resist it. What you're facing isn't chaos, it's choreography. The cosmos has designed this dance of fire to reveal what was always meant to rise. A Scorpio once told me, every time I lose something, I feel closer to what's real. That right there is your hidden gift. You are not afraid of endings because you understand what others forget, that endings are doorways. And this November, one of those doorways is opening again. But here's the paradox. Transformation begins the moment you stop chasing it. When you stop trying to control how your rebirth unfolds and simply let the fire do its work. Control was always your armor, Scorpio. But now the universe is asking for surrender, not the surrender of defeat, but the surrender of wisdom. The mirror of fire doesn't lie. It shows you everything, the wounds, the brilliance, the love that still trembles beneath your scars. And it whispers the truth no one dares to say aloud. You were never meant to live a calm life. You were meant to live a meaningful one. So as you move through this first wave of November's prophecy, let yourself feel it all. The fear, the desire, the longing, the rage. Because within those flames lies the alchemy of your next awakening. Comment if this resonates with you. Have you ever felt your own emotions burning to free you, not to destroy you? Life lesson 1. Transformation doesn't destroy you. It reveals who you were meant to be. Scorpio's journey is never about escaping the fire. It's about remembering that you are the fire, ancient, sacred, and eternal. Section 2. The descent through shadow, facing the inner truth. There comes a time when the light within you stops pretending. When the masks you've worn for safety, the calm smile, the quiet control, the silence that hides the storm begin to fall away. November 2025 is that time, Scorpio. The month when the mirror of fire turns into a descent, not downward into destruction, but inward into truth. In every ancient mystery school, before one could rise as a phoenix, one had to descend into the underworld of the self. And the ancients said Scorpio was born knowing the path. Because yours is the soul that doesn't flinch before shadow, you walk into darkness to remember the light. This is the season when your inner underworld begins to open its gates. Things you've avoided, emotions left unfinished, betrayals, never grieved fears, never named, will rise like ghosts seeking release. You'll feel them in your body, in your dreams, in the quiet moments when you think you're fine, but something trembles beneath the surface. Don't resist it. The descent isn't punishment, it's purification. There's a story I once heard from an old astrologer in New Orleans. She said every Scorpio lives through 7 gates of transformation, one for each layer of illusion they shed before becoming whole. At the first gate, you lose comfort, at the second, certainty, at the third, control, and by the 7th, you stand naked before truth, nothing left to hide behind, yet nothing left to fear. And perhaps, Scorpio, that's what's happening now. You're walking through those invisible gates, losing not because fate is cruel, but because truth cannot enter where illusion still lives. Every ending, every confrontation, every silence this month is sacred choreography. The energy of Mars in your sign will feel like a spotlight on everything unresolved. Conversations you thought were over may reappear. People from your past might surface not to hurt you, but to return the pieces of your power you once gave away. And when that happens, don't ask, why is this happening again? Ask instead, what part of me is ready to be free this time? Because freedom for Scorpio has never been about escape, it's about ownership. Owning your shadow, your truth, your story without shame or denial. In Buddhist philosophy, there is a teaching that says, You cannot transcend what you refuse to see. That is the essence of Scorpio's descent. You do not fight the shadow, you study it until you understand it enough to transform it. Just as the lotus blooms in mud, your wisdom rises from what the world calls mess. And yes, there will be moments this month when you feel pulled into emotional undertows, sudden anger waves of nostalgia, even tears that come from nowhere. But those are not breakdowns, they are clearings. They are the sound of the old world crumbling so that your soul can breathe again. One Scorpio I once guided told me, "I don't fear my pain anymore. I fear what happens when I stop listening to it." That is pure Scorpionic wisdom, to treat pain as a teacher, not a curse. This is your inner apprenticeship now, to listen deeply to what your emotions are trying to say. Because beneath every hurt lies a hidden message. Beneath every disappointment lies divine redirection. And beneath every tear lies the truth your mind was too afraid to admit. You are ready to be free. So if the universe feels heavy right now, if it seems like it's asking too much of you, remember this: you are not being punished. You are being purified. The shadow doesn't swallow you, Scorpio. It baptizes you. And when the fire within meets the darkness below, something miraculous happens: illumination. Not light that blinds, but light that understands. Comment if this resonates with you. Have you ever felt like your pain was guiding you somewhere higher? Life lesson 2. What you lose in illusion, you gain in truth. Scorpio's descent is not about falling. It's about remembering that every shadow you face is just light in disguise, waiting to be recognized. But once you've looked into the shadow and survived its silence, a strange calm begins to form, the calm of surrender. And that is where the real prophecy begins to unfold. Section 3. The sacred surrender. The moment of realization. At some point in every Scorpio's journey, control begins to dissolve. Not because you failed to hold it, but because the universe decided you were ready to live without it. And that, my friend, is sacred surrender. It's not about giving up. It's about giving in to the rhythm that life has been trying to teach you since the day you were born under that burning constellation. You were never meant to live behind armor. You were meant to burn so brightly that no armor could survive your light. This month, as Mars continues to stir the deep waters of your sign, and Pluto whispers from the shadows, the energy becomes unmistakable. Life will ask you to release what you once believed was necessary, the illusion of control, the old wounds that once gave you identity, the constant need to understand why. Because the truth is simple. Understanding is not freedom. Acceptance is. When you stop demanding answers from the universe and instead sit quietly in its mystery, something shifts. It's like an invisible weight leaves your chest. The noise of resistance fades, and for the first time, you can hear your own soul speaking. And what it says is not a command, it's a remembrance. You were never here to control the fire. You were here to become it. I have met countless Scorpios in my years of study, healers, leaders, dreamers, and every one of them shared the same silent pattern. They didn't transform when they won. They transformed when they surrendered. Surrender is Scorpio's secret power, the moment you stop trying to rewrite destiny and start dancing with it. Because when you let the current carry you, you realize something astonishing. The current was always you. In Buddhist wisdom, there is a saying, "The river and its flow are not two. The ego fights the flow, but the soul is the flow." That is the lesson Scorpio must learn in every lifetime, to stop clinging to the edges of control and allow the water to move through you. When you do, your life stops feeling like struggle and starts feeling like rhythm. And in that rhythm, miracles begin to unfold. A relationship that ended suddenly reveals its hidden blessing. A loss that once felt unbearable becomes a doorway to deeper purpose. The silence that once terrified you becomes your temple. That is sacred surrender, the alchemy that turns chaos into clarity. Scorpio, this is your moment of realization. The universe is not against you, it is for you, but it can only meet you at the level of your openness. The more you let go, the more it flows. And maybe that's what November is really asking. Can you trust the fire that's changing you? Can you let the old self burn without rushing to rebuild? Because from those ashes, something luminous is already forming a truer, freer version of you, one that doesn't need to prove strength through resistance, but through presence. So breathe, let the flame move through you. This is not destruction, this is divine correction. Comment if this resonates with you. Have you ever felt peace the moment you stopped fighting what was meant to change you? Life lesson 3. Freedom begins the moment you stop trying to control transformation. You are not losing yourself, Scorpio. You are shedding what was never truly yours, the illusions, the fears, the false forms of power, so that truth can finally inhabit your bones. As the final days of the Scorpio sun pass and the energy prepares to enter Sagittarius, the fire you carried inward begins to turn outward. It no longer burns to purify, it burns to illuminate. Because what dies in darkness will soon rise in divine flame. And that, Scorpio, is where the second half of this prophecy begins, the rebirth, the phoenix, and the hidden truth. Opening, the rebirth. The phoenix and the hidden truth. The ashes have cooled. The night that once burned with chaos now hums with silence. And beneath that silence, something sacred begins to breathe again. Scorpio, you have walked through your own underworld, through endings, through shadows, through the fire that stripped you of everything false. And now, as November unfolds into its second half, the prophecy changes tone. The descent has done its work. The purification is complete. What rises from the ashes now is not the same being who entered the flames. This is your rebirth, not as the scorpion that stings, but as the phoenix that remembers. The ancients said that after every 7 deaths of the spirit, a Scorpio soul ignites into new form. It carries the wisdom of its past wounds like jewels woven into its wings. And when it takes flight again, it does so not to escape the world, but to illuminate it. If part 1 was the fire of revelation, part 2 is the light of understanding. It's the moment when you look at the ruins behind you and realize they were never ruins at all. They were altars built by your own transformation. For years, you may have felt that life was burning you unfairly, that love always tested you, that fate always asked for too much. But here at the edge of this new dawn, you begin to understand the secret Scorpio truth. You were never being punished. You were being refined. Because the universe doesn't destroy a soul like yours, it forges it. You can almost feel it now, the quiet pulse under your ribs like a drum of light, awakening from centuries of silence. It's your soul calling you to rise, to reclaim the power you once scattered across timelines of fear and loss. And in this new vibration, something extraordinary happens. The power that once felt heavy, the power that came from control, now feels light. Because it is no longer about owning anything, it's about embodying everything. This is what the old mystics meant when they called Scorpio the guardian of transformation. Not the destroyer of worlds, but the one who remembers that every ending was a beginning, wearing a darker name. The Phoenix energy that awakens in November 2025 is not symbolic. It's real. You will feel it in your bones, in your dreams, in the way you speak truth without trembling. It's the shift from fear to freedom, from survival to creation, from control to trust. You no longer have to chase change, Scorpio. You are change, alive, conscious, and luminous. And now, as the prophecy continues, the universe asks only one question. Can you live as the fire that no longer burns but blesses? Comment if this resonates with you. Have you ever felt yourself reborn in the same life, as if everything suddenly made sense after the storm? Because if you have Scorpio, then you've already stepped into your next timeline. And that is where our story continues into the Phoenix Code Rebirth Beyond Control. Section 4. The Phoenix Code Rebirth Beyond Control. There is a sacred moment in every rebirth, the pause between what dies and what begins to live again. It is quiet, almost fragile, like the air right before dawn when the stars surrender their light so that the sun can rise. Scorpio, you are standing in that sacred pause. You've walked through the fire, you've faced your shadow, and now for the first time you can see the outline of your wings. The phoenix doesn't rise because it tries harder. It rises because it trusts the fire that forged it. That is your initiation now, learning to trust the very forces that once terrified you. For centuries, mystics have said that Scorpio holds the key to spiritual immortality, because this sign alone understands that death is never the end, it's transformation in disguise. Every time you've lost something, a relationship, a dream, a version of yourself, it wasn't destruction, it was divine recalibration. But here's the secret that few ever speak aloud. The phoenix doesn't need control to rise. It rises when it surrenders completely, when it stops trying to fly and simply remembers it can. You have been taught to see power as dominance, as certainty, as the ability to hold the reins of life. But real power, Scorpio, is surrender with awareness. It's the kind of strength that comes not from control, but from coherence, when your heart, mind, and soul move in the same rhythm. In astrology, as the sun aligns with Neptune and Pluto, you may feel that rhythm inside you. It's like an invisible current pulling you forward, asking you to stop forcing outcomes and start following intuition. Your body becomes a compass, your dreams turn into messages, and every time you try to resist, life gently redirects you, reminding you that the path has already been drawn. I once studied a Scorpio woman who spent years building a perfect life, every detail under control. But when her plans collapsed, something unexpected happened. She laughed. She said, "I finally felt free because I had nothing left to control." That's when she began to live her real life, the one that wasn't planned but destined. This is the Phoenix Code, the law that governs Scorpio's evolution. To be reborn, you must release control. To ascend, you must descend first. And to truly live, you must learn to die to the illusion of control. When you understand this, the fire no longer frightens you. It becomes your teacher. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Thank you for showing me where I was still afraid." That shift from fear to gratitude is the moment of ascension. In Buddhist philosophy, it's called ego death, the dissolving of the false self that believes it can manipulate the world into safety. But what remains after the ego burns is not emptiness, it's clarity. The pure awareness that sees without judging, acts without clinging, and loves without fear. That's the Phoenix consciousness, what the ancients called the fire of awareness. It is not about escaping the human experience. It's about being fully present in it, knowing that nothing real can be destroyed. So, if you feel like you're floating between worlds right now, neither who you were nor who you're becoming, don't panic. You're in the alchemy. You're in the sacred in-between where transformation breathes. The fire is no longer burning you, Scorpio. It's shaping you. And soon, that same flame that once consumed your world will become the light you offer to others. Comment if this resonates with you. Have you ever realized that letting go gave you more power than holding on ever did? Life lesson 4. Rebirth isn't about becoming new. It's about remembering you were never broken. Scorpio, you've always been the phoenix, not because you rise, but because you trust the ashes. And that trust is your freedom. But what if your personal rebirth is also a mirror for something greater, a world going through its own awakening? Because as you rise, the collective begins to stir, and that's when the prophecy expands beyond the personal into the cosmic. Section 5. The collective mirror truth in the outer world. Every transformation inside the human heart eventually ripples outward into the world. What happens within one Scorpio begins to echo within humanity itself, because Scorpio's energy has never been purely personal. It is the pulse of collective evolution, and this November, that pulse is growing louder. Look around you. The world feels different, doesn't it? Truths that were once whispered in shadows are now being spoken aloud. Systems that once seemed unshakable are trembling. Even the lies that used to comfort people no longer work. It's not coincidence, it's reflection. The outer world is mirroring the inner transformation of millions of souls awakening under the same sky. This is what I call the Scorpio mirror, a cosmic phenomenon that happens when collective consciousness begins to confront its own shadow, just as you did within yourself. What we are witnessing globally is the same process you've endured privately: exposure, revelation, purification, and rebirth. Governments, corporations, relationships, belief systems, everything built on illusion is being forced to face truth. And while many fear this chaos, Scorpio sees it differently. To the awakened Scorpion, destruction is not evil, stagnation is. The fire that burns corruption is the same fire that purifies consciousness. You, Scorpio, are the mirror of that process. Your energy teaches humanity how to evolve through truth instead of denial. That's why you attract intensity wherever you go, because your mere presence exposes what others are trying to hide. You don't do it intentionally, it's the frequency you carry. You are truth incarnate, and truth makes illusions uncomfortable. There's an old esoteric proverb, when Scorpio heals humanity, remembers. And that's exactly what's happening now. As you rise from your own ashes, you lift the vibration of the entire collective field. Every time you forgive instead of retaliate, you send light into a corner of the world that was still trapped in darkness. Every time you choose awareness over control, you heal generations of fear. Because personal transformation and collective evolution are not separate, they are reflections of each other. It might feel overwhelming at times. Empaths, healers, and intuitive Scorpios may feel the pain of the collective more than ever: exhaustion, confusion, emotional intensity that doesn't seem to belong to you. If that's happening, it's not because you're weak. It's because your energy field is acting as an alchemical vessel transmuting the density of the world into light. The serpent of humanity is shedding its old skin, and Scorpio is guiding the process. In ancient myth, the serpent symbolized wisdom, both healing and poison, destruction and creation. The ancients understood what modern society forgets: that darkness itself is not evil, it's unintegrated power. And that is what the world is now being forced to see. This is where Scorpio's role becomes sacred. You are not here to judge the world's descent, you are here to witness it with compassion. To hold space for humanity's awakening, just as you held space for your own. To remember that everything collapsing right now is not an ending, it's a collective rebirth in motion. In Buddhist wisdom, there's a teaching. When one being awakens, the whole universe celebrates. That is the vibration Scorpio carries into this age, the reminder that awareness itself is healing. You don't have to fix the world, Scorpio. You simply have to embody truth. When you do, your frequency becomes medicine. There will be moments when the news, the noise, or the fear feels unbearable. When that happens, return to silence. Remember, silence is Scorpio's sanctuary. It's where clarity returns. The world needs your calm, not your chaos, your presence, not your panic. Because when Scorpio stands still, the storm begins to settle. This is the prophecy's collective dimension, the reflection of your inner transformation on the grand stage of humanity. The serpent and the phoenix now move together, one shedding, one rising. The old power structures fall, but the new ones are built on awareness, compassion, and truth, the sacred trinity of Scorpio's higher purpose. So if you've been wondering why you feel everything so intensely right now, it's because you're not just living your life, you're carrying a frequency that helps the world remember itself. You are the mirror, and the mirror no longer hides what it sees. Comment if this resonates with you. Do you feel like the world outside is mirroring the changes within you? Life Lesson 5. The world transforms when enough souls dare to face their truth. The greatest act of power is not control, it's awareness. And awareness begins with you. Because when Scorpio rises, the whole world remembers that truth was never meant to destroy us, only to set us free. And once the world reflects your awakening, there comes the final revelation, the moment when you no longer seek the light because you realize you are the light. Section 6. The revelation within becoming the light. Every prophecy ends where self-realization begins. And this one Scorpio ends not with thunder, but with quiet clarity. Because the final revelation of November 2025 is not written in the stars, it is written in you. You've walked through darkness. You've faced endings that once felt like annihilation. You've burned in the fires of your own transformation. And now at last, the ashes begin to shimmer. What you see glowing there is not something new, it's something ancient. Something you've carried through lifetimes, the eternal spark of truth that no illusion could ever extinguish. That spark is you. For centuries, mystics have said that Scorpio's highest form is not the scorpion, nor even the eagle, it is the phoenix made of light. Not because it escapes death, but because it understands it. Not because it destroys darkness, but because it embraces it until it turns into wisdom. That is where you stand now. You no longer chase love, you embody it. You no longer seek power, you radiate it. You no longer fear endings, you bless them. The hidden truth of this prophecy was never about prediction. It was about remembrance. About realizing that the light you sought in others, in destiny, in divine timing, was never outside you. It was the reflection of your own awareness waiting to be seen. When Mars, your primal ruler, aligns with Neptune and Pluto, in these final days of November, the heavens mirror your completion. This is not coincidence, it's confirmation. The soul of Scorpio has reached equilibrium, the perfect balance between shadow and light. And now you move through the world as both teacher and mirror, the embodiment of inner alchemy. People will notice something in your presence, an energy they can't explain. It's not your words, nor your silence. It's the calm radiance of someone who has faced themselves and survived. That is your gift to the world. You don't need to preach. Your energy itself will heal. You are no longer here to fight darkness. You are here to understand it, and in that understanding, it dissolves. The Buddha once said there is no fire like passion, no grip like hatred, no snare like folly, and no flood like desire. But Scorpio, you've mastered these elements. You've turned passion into compassion, hatred into awareness, desire into creation. You've become the river and the flame, both soft and unshakable. The moment you accept this, the prophecy completes itself. Because what was hidden all along was never destiny, it was identity. You were the hidden truth. You were the fire and the mirror. You were the storm and the silence. And now all of it lives in harmony within you. When you look back at this month, you'll see that nothing truly ended, it only changed form. Loss became wisdom, pain became peace, and surrender became power. This is what it means to become the light. To stand in full awareness, without judgment, without fear, and simply be. To live not from reaction, but from presence. To remember that even your shadows serve your purpose. They teach contrast, they reveal depth, they make the light visible. So, as the final hours of November fade, take one last look at the ashes behind you, not with grief, but with gratitude. Every heartbreak, every failure, every silence was part of your initiation. You were never being destroyed, Scorpio. You were being revealed. Now, as the phoenix rises fully from the underworld wings, outstretched fire turning to gold, you finally understand the sacred paradox. You were never meant to escape the fire. You were meant to become it and then transform it into light. Comment if this resonates with you. Do you feel this rebirth within you? The calm after the storm, the peace that feels eternal. Power without awareness corrupts. Awareness without courage stagnates. True mastery is the union of both. This is Scorpio's divine completion, the sacred union of shadow and light, fire and water, human and divine. And from this union, peace is born. Final closing. The prophecy fulfilled. Scorpio, this is your awakening. You are no longer the seeker of truth, you are its living embodiment. You are the fire that reveals the water that heals, the silence that transforms. As November 2025 fades into memory, remember this truth: you were never the one waiting for the prophecy to come true. You were the prophecy all along. You are the bridge between endings and beginnings, between death and creation, between the human and the divine. And the world needs that light now more than ever. So walk forward gently, but with the strength of 1,000 lifetimes. Let your calm be the revolution. Let your love be the light that others remember themselves by. Because what the fire touched, it purified. What it purified, it illuminated. And what it illuminated became eternal. This is not the end, Scorpio. This is your beginning. Closing reflection for engagement. What truth did this prophecy awaken in you? Share your reflection below, and don't forget to subscribe to the Path to Buddhist Wisdom, where every ending is a lesson and every lesson is a new beginning.